Hello friends, this is Santosh Jangi and welcome you all to the Simplified Chemistry class, and this is the class which is focused on the organic chemistry. When we concentrate on the organic chemistry of the 12th class, a complete part 2 book is on organic chemistry. We are having about 7 chapters on the organic chemistry. And when we speak about the organic chemistry, we know that organic chemistry is completely full of reactions. So what we are learning in the organic chemistry, what we are doing in the organic chemistry, in organic chemistry we are converting one compound into another compound by using some reagent. And when I speak with my students in the class, maximum students are facing difficulties with remembering the reactions. Maximum they face difficulties in writing reaction. Some students, if they remember name of the reaction, they forget reactant. Some are forgetting reagent used, the product we are getting, intermediate we are getting, mechanism. So all these things are happening. Okay. So before we start 12th organic chemistry, we are going to take 1 or 2 sessions on basics of organic chemistry. What organic chemistry actually is? Organic chemistry is a branch which is all due to this element, carbon. Carbon chemistry, study of carbon compounds, everything is there in the organic chemistry. So it's a branch of chemistry which deals with the carbon compounds. When we concentrate on the carbon is capable of forming 4 bonds. Why carbon is capable of forming 4 bonds, you know? Carbon atomic number 6. And we can write the electronic configuration of carbon as 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. For completing the octet, carbon requires 4 electrons. So what the carbon does then? Carbon decides to share 4 electrons. As a result, carbon is capable of forming 4 covalent bonds, which may be single bonds, or carbon may be surrounded by multiple bonds, like a double bond, or it may be surrounded by a triple bond. Carbon surrounded by only single bonds, surrounded by double bond, or surrounded by triple bond. When we see the single bonds around the carbon, remember all these are sigma bonds. So these are all the sigma bonds, single bonds. When carbon is surrounded by a double bond, in this double bond one is sigma, another is pi. When it is surrounded by a triple bond, you see single bonds are sigma bonds. In this triple bond we have 2 pi bonds and middle bond is sigma. Another important concept of the chemical bonding we apply in learning organic chemistry. When carbon is surrounded by only single bonds, its hybridization is sp3. When we have a double bond on the carbon, its hybridization becomes sp2. When it is surrounded by a triple bond, hybridization becomes sp. So based on the bonds present on carbon, we can decide hybridization very easily. And we have some applications of hybridization when we are learning organic chemistry. If carbon is surrounded by only single bonds, hybridization is sp3. On the carbon, if we have a 1 double bond, its hybridization becomes sp2. And if there is 1 triple bond, its hybridization becomes sp. Now, this is the basic idea about the carbon and how the carbon is forming bonds. Another important part on which we have to focus in learning organic chemistry is, remember, how to name organic compounds. Nomenclature of organic compounds. Naming of organic compounds. When we go for naming of organic compounds, we are going to follow 2 systems. One is called common, or also called as trivial system. And another one we are having, it's called as IUPAC or UPAC system. So there are 2 systems of naming organic compounds, common or the trivial system, and we have IUPAC system. We are going to focus first on IUPAC system. Some simple rules to name organic compounds we are going to see. And after that, little bit hints I'll be giving related to common system and some other important aspects related to organic chemistry we are discussing. And after learning about the basics, we are going to start with the 12th organic chemistry. And the important thing behind this class is you should feel organic chemistry easy. Okay, that's why we are learning all basics first. And these are all the things which we have learnt in 11th. Let us concentrate on IUPAC nomenclature of the organic compounds. When we concentrate on the IUPAC name of organic compound, see, in the IUPAC name of organic compound, mainly we have three parts. Middle part, it is the most important part, we call it as word root, or even it can be called as root word. The term added to the word root, we call it as a suffix. The term which comes before the word root, we call it as prefix. So these are the mainly the three important parts we are getting in the IUPAC name of organic compound. Suffix is divided into two parts. Primary suffix, secondary suffix. Prefix is also divided into two parts. Secondary and primary. So these are the important parts we are having in the IUPAC name of organic compound. One thing you remember, without word root and without a primary suffix, there is no IUPAC name. So IUPAC name of the organic compound minimum has word root and the primary suffix. What is word root then? Word root explains number of carbons. So what it explains? It explains number of carbons in longest continuous carbon chain. We call it as the parent chain. Word root explains number of carbons in parent chain. What is the meaning of parent chain? Longest continuous carbon chain. If suppose the organic compound contains one carbon, for one carbon we use the word root meth. For two carbons we use the word root eth. For three carbons we are using word root prop. 4 carbons bute. For 5 carbons we use pent. 6 carbons hex. 7 carbons hept. For 8 carbons we use oct. For 9 we are using non, and for 10 carbons we are using the word root as dec. So these are the word roots you have to remember at least up to 10 carbons. Meth, eth, prop, bute, pent, hex, hept, oct, non and the dec. We go for suffix. Suffix comes after the word root, and we are dividing suffix into mainly two types, primary and secondary. Primary suffix is the suffix which is added to word root. What the primary suffix explains then? Primary suffix explains the type of carbon-carbon bond present in the organic compound. So what type of carbon-carbon bond we are having in the organic compound? It is indicated by primary suffix. If the compound has only carbon-carbon single bond, we use the primary suffix ane. If the compound contains carbon-carbon double bond, for that we are using primary suffix ene. For carbon-carbon triple bond, the primary suffix used is yne. Pronounced as ane, ene and ine. So what the primary suffix is? It is added to the word root and explaining about the type of carbon-carbon bond. Let us take some examples so that you understand how we apply word root and primary suffix. And after that we go for learning secondary suffix. First example, CH4. In this compound we have one carbon. For one carbon we know the word root, meth. When the compound has one carbon, no question of carbon-carbon double bond, triple bond. So we use primary suffix ane. Name of the compound becomes methane. Second example, if I take CH3, two carbons in the compound, therefore word root is eth. Carbon-carbon single bond we have. So we are using primary suffix ane, compound name becomes ethane. Third example, CH2 double bond CH2. Compound contains 2 carbons. For 2 carbons, once again word root is eth. Carbon-carbon double bond, therefore we use primary suffix ene. Compound name becomes ethene. And if I take CH3, CH, double bond CH2, this compound contains 3 carbons. For 3 carbons, word root is prop. Carbon-carbon double bond, therefore add primary suffix ene. It continues. If I take CH, triple bond CH, 2 carbons, word root is eth. Primary suffix is yne. So the name of compound becomes ethine. So this is how we are using word root and primary suffix. After primary suffix, we get another term, secondary suffix. This is the term added to primary suffix. And this explains one important group in the organic compound called functional group. What is functional group then? Functional group is group of atoms which decides properties of the organic compound. Group of atoms which is deciding the properties of organic compound, we call it as a functional group. Group of atoms which is deciding the properties of organic compound, we call it as functional group. For different functional groups, we have a different secondary suffixes. And we are going to see a column or a table which explains the secondary suffixes used for different functional groups. First column we make for a functional group. Second column is for the secondary suffix we are using. And the last column is for class of a compound. So this is how we made some columns for learning secondary suffix. First functional group, let us take OH. If the functional group is OH, we use the secondary suffix as all. And the compounds are called as alcohols, represented by general formula ROH. What are alcohols then? Alcohols are the compounds with the functional group OH. So this is how we define organic compounds. Alcohols are the compounds with a general formula ROH, where R is a carbon group, alkyl group. Remember, it's an open chain alkyl group. It cannot be benzene. If it is benzene, then the compound becomes another class we call as phenol. If the functional group is CHO, it can be written as C double bond OH. We use a secondary suffix as al, and the compounds are called as aldehydes. General formula for aldehydes, we write RCHO. Similarly, if the functional group is CO, we use a secondary suffix as ONE, pronounced as own, and the compounds are called as ketones, represented by general formula RCOR-. If the functional group is COOH, C double bond OOH, we use a secondary suffix as oic acid, and the compounds are called as carboxylic acids, represented by formula RCOOH. If the functional group is NH2, we use a secondary suffix as amine, and the compounds are called as amines. If the functional group is CONH2, it's a C double bond ONH2, or you can write CONH2. We use a secondary suffix as amide, and the compounds are called as amides. If the functional group is COOR, we use a secondary suffix OATE. The compounds are called as esters. Functional group COOR, secondary suffix O8, and the compounds are called as esters, represented by general formula RCOOR dash, where R and R dash both are the carbon groups. Last one we take, if the functional group is the CN, C triple bond N, or simply written as a CN, we use a secondary suffix as a cyanide or nitrile, C triple bond N or written as CN, and the compounds are called as cyanides. I have taken only some important functional groups: OH, CHO, CO, COOH, NH2, CONH2, COOR, CN. You can add another one to this, COX, where X corresponds to halogen. COX, X corresponds to halogen. Normally X may be Cl or Br. Very rarely we are getting F or I. And for this we use a secondary suffix as oil halide. In case of Cl, you can write secondary suffix as oil chloride. And the compounds are called as acid halides. So this is all about the secondary suffix we are using for different functional groups and different class of compound based on the functional group. After this, you remember one important note related to the addition of secondary suffix to the primary suffix. Whenever you go for adding secondary suffix to the primary suffix, remember, if the secondary suffix starts with A, E, I, O, U or Y. If the secondary suffix starts with A, E, I, O, U or Y. So when we are getting Y, we are going to see later. We go for naming polyfunctional group compounds. In that case, we are getting the term Y also. For the timing, we are learning only naming of compounds containing single functional group. Secondary suffix, if it is starting with A, E, I, O, U or Y, remember, drop end E of primary suffix. When you see this primary suffix, A-N-E, E-N-E or Y-N-E, all these are ending with E only. Primary suffixes, they are all ending with E only. So if the secondary suffix starts with A, E, I, O, U or Y, replace the end E of the primary suffix by secondary suffix. Say for example, if I take CH3OH. See this example, CH3OH. This compound contains one carbon. Therefore, we write word root meth. Always IUPAC name should be started with capital letter. Now primary suffix we are writing A and E. For OH we use a secondary suffix as all. It starts with O. So what the rule says, drop the end E of the primary suffix and write OL in the place of E. IUPAC name becomes methanol. If I take this compound CH3, CH2, COOH, compound has 3 carbons. For 3 carbons, we write word root prop. Carbon-carbon single bond. Therefore, primary suffix is A and E. Start the IUPAC name always with a capital letter. Now this is propane because the compound has 3 carbons and we have only carbon-carbon single bonds in the compound. Now functional group is COOH. Therefore, we use secondary suffix oic acid. It begins with O. Replace end E by OIC acid. So the name of compound becomes propanoic acid. Let us take another example. CH3, CN if I take. Compound now has 2 carbons. For 2 carbons, we use word root eth. Whenever I give this example in the class, many of the students are doing one common mistake. They use the primary suffix as Y-N-E. And if suppose you are thinking about the primary suffix Y-N-E, it's wrong. You have to focus directly on triple bond. But see, this triple bond is between carbon and nitrogen. Primary suffix is applicable only for carbon-carbon bond, not carbon and other atom bond. If suppose we have a double bond between carbon and oxygen, don't apply the primary suffix "ene." And if you take a carbon triple bond N, don't use the primary suffix "yne," "ine." Remember, primary suffix applies for only carbon-carbon bond. So we have to use the primary suffix for carbon-carbon single bond as "ane" only. Now this is ethane. For CN, we are using secondary suffix as a cyanide or nitride. They begin with the C or N, so don't drop the end E of the primary suffix. End E of the primary suffix now it is retained and we write cyanide or nitride. So I have taken some examples where we have used word root, primary suffix and secondary suffix. What we left now? We left with only prefix. So we are going to concentrate next on the prefix. Okay, let us concentrate next on the prefix. What the prefix is? Prefix comes before the word root. And we are dividing prefix into two types. Secondary, primary. Let us see first the primary prefix and after that we are moving to the secondary prefix. Primary prefix we are using only for naming cyclic compounds. What do you mean by cyclic compound then? Compound in which carbon atoms are linked to form a ring-like structure. We call them as cyclic compounds. We use a primary prefix cyclo before the word root for naming the cyclic compounds. And remember, always it is combined with that word root. Say for example, if I take this simple example, so there is a simple most cyclic compound where we have 3 carbons in the ring. First carbon, second carbon, third. 3 carbons are present in the ring. For 3 carbons we know the word root. What is the word root we are using? Prop. Carbon-carbon single bonds are present, therefore primary suffix is ane. Start with a small letter, propane it is. Now the compound is cyclic, therefore we write the name for this compound as cyclopropane. Another example we take. Check the number of carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons in the compound. Since the compound is cyclic, use the primary prefix cyclo. Due to 4 carbons, the word root is but. Carbon-carbon single bond, therefore it is cyclobutane. Another example we take. In this example, let us take a double bond. Compound is cyclic, first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth. 5 carbons in the ring. Compound is cyclic, use the prefix, primary prefix cyclo before the word root, cyclo. Due to 5 carbons, it is pent. Now carbon-carbon double bond we have, therefore it is cyclopentane. And if I take this is the example in which we have a functional group. Let us take the functional group as OH. Check the number of carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cyclic. Prefix used, primary prefix used cyclo. 6 carbons in the ring, therefore hex. Only carbon-carbon single bonds are there, therefore primary suffix is ane. Functional group is OH. For OH we use a secondary suffix ol. So the compound name becomes cyclohexanol. So these are the examples where we used word root, suffix as well as primary prefix. Now we left with another part in the prefix, secondary prefix. Secondary prefix comes before word root or the primary prefix. Whenever the compound is cyclic, then only we are getting primary prefix. Secondary prefix comes either before the primary prefix or the word root. What this explains then? Secondary prefix explains mainly about substituent present in the organic compound. For different substituents, we are using different secondary prefixes. Now let us take once again a table where we are going to say different substituents and the secondary suffixes we are using. Common substituents we are getting are carbon groups. Then which carbon group we are going to take it as a substituent? That also we are going to say. If the CH3 group is used as a substituent, then we are using secondary prefix for this is methyl. Generally for R we use the secondary prefix as alkyl. For C2H5 it can be written as a CH2CH3. For C2H5 we are using secondary prefix as ethyl. It continues. Then if the substituent is halogen X, it may be fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. If the substituent is halogen, we use the secondary prefix as halo, H-A-L-O. For fluorine it becomes fluoro, chlorine, chloro, bromine, bromo, and for iodine it becomes ido. And if suppose the substituent is NO2, use the secondary prefix nitro. Another one we are getting carbon group with oxygen, OR. Carbon group with oxygen. When the carbon group is present with oxygen, we are using secondary prefix alkoxy. And about this we are learning in a separate second chapter of the organic chemistry. Compounds with formula RO, R' or ROR, we call them as ethers, and we learn much more about these compounds in the second chapter of the 12th standard. Okay? Alkoxy. Say for example, if I take OCH3, for this we can use the secondary prefix as methoxy. For OC2H5 you can write secondary prefix as ethoxy. It continues. So this is a table where we have taken different substituents and corresponding secondary prefixes. Now let us take some example. First example, CH3Cl. Compound contains one carbon. For one carbon we are using word root meth. And I told you, whenever the compound has one carbon, we are always getting primary suffix as a ane, A-N-E. So it's a methane. Due to Cl, we are using secondary prefix as a chloro. Since the compound is an open chain compound, we are not getting primary prefix. Now check the name of compound. See, word root is meth. Primary suffix is ane, compound has a Cl substituent, and we are going to name the Cl as a secondary prefix. Therefore, name of the compound becomes chloromethane. CH3Cl named as chloromethane. Second example we take. If suppose I take a cyclic compound like this, and we have a Br linked to the cyclic ring. Look at the name of compound. Number of carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, word root we write pent. Primary suffix ane. Now the compound is cyclic. Therefore, we write a primary prefix cyclo. Cyclopentane. Now we use secondary prefix as a bromo. So check the name of compound. It is bromocyclopentane. See the order we are following. First we write a secondary prefix, then we write a primary prefix if the compound is cyclic, word root, primary suffix. At the end, if the functional group is there, we are getting secondary suffix. So this is how we are naming the compound. If I take another example like this, let us take CH3 or CH2 double bond CHBr. Now check the compound. Br is the substituent we are having. Therefore, we write the secondary prefix as bromo for Br. 2 carbons in the compound. Therefore, word root is eth. For carbon-carbon double bond, write primary suffix E and E. So the name of compound is bromoethene. Let us take another example. CH3, CH, CH3, CH3. In this compound we have a totally 4 carbons. Now see, we have to select the longest continuous carbon chain. You can start the numbering of carbons from any side you want. I started the numbering of this carbon chain from the left end. So how many carbons we got in the continuous carbon chain? 1, 2, 3. You can't number this carbon as 4. Because if I take the fourth carbon, it should bring to the third carbon. So it should be a continuous carbon chain. Continuous carbon chain in the sense first carbon linked to second, second linked to third, third linked to fourth. You can't number this carbon as 4. Suppose if I start numbering from the right end, I'm getting the same numbers once again. 1, 2, 3. Or you can start the numbering from the CH3. 1, 2, 3. You can't start numbering from the CH. If you start numbering from CH, you are getting only 2 carbons in the parent chain. And IUPAC rule says that you have to select the longest continuous carbon chain. Now check. This is the carbon group which is not involved in the parent chain. Means it becomes a substituent. CH3. Carbon group which is not involved in the parent chain, that we call it a substituent. CH3. How we name CH3 in the form of secondary prefix? Methyl. So what is the name of organic compound? 3 carbons in the parent chain. Therefore, word root we write prop. Primary suffix we are writing ane, propane. CH3 taken as a substituent and named as methyl. It is present on second carbon. Mention the position of the CH3 where it is present. So the name of organic compound becomes 2-methyl propane. 2 indicates position of the CH3. Always we are going to separate number and the name by using hyphen. So this is how we are using word root, a suffix and the prefix.